All righty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Ghost in the Machine, episode 5. So today's a very exciting day, Liz.
I'm so excited.
Our first episode with a guest.
I thought you were just going to say first episode, and I was worried if maybe you traveled back in time. And anyways, we're getting too deep into the episode.
There was a glitch inside the machine.
But yes, it is our first episode with a guest.
That would have been a good name for the show, too. Glitch in the Machine. Maybe there's a second show in our future called Glitch.
I like it. Shh, let's talk about that offline, okay?
I'm a middle-aged guy with too much time in his hand. I just create podcasts all day long. I don't think my co-founder wonders if I actually work. Why don't you just record podcasts?
You are way too on point there with your type by doing that, sir.
I don't know what to tell you. All right. Well, I'm very excited for today. Our topic today is simulation theory. Which, if folks don't know, you can hate Elon Musk. I understand it. But there's a really funny story about Elon Musk and his brother and simulation theory was that they talked about it so much that they banned themselves from talking about simulation theory in the hot tub. So it's like, so if someone's in a hot tub, you're not allowed to talk about simulation theory.
So the only time that you don't have to hear Elon Musk talk about simulation theory if you're around him is you have to be in a hot tub with him.
If you go Google simulation theory or on YouTube, like I guarantee you, Elon's coming up a lot.
This is not changing my opinion of him from last week, by the way, or the week before.
No, not at all. He made it pop. He did not create it, but he did make it popular. So, but I'm very excited to have a good dear friend of mine on the show with us today, Antoni Tzavelas.
What's up?
I always screw up Antoni's last name. I have like this sheer paranoia about his last name. I don't know why. And I've like built it up. Like I've created anxiety in my own life around like the nicest human being's last name. Like the guy who would never correct, he would like never even correct you. He'd be like, eh. How many times have you been called Anthony?
Too many times. Or Antonio.
So Anthony, I'm super excited to have you on here. Obviously you've got, I love you because you've got as mixed of a friggin' background as I do. It's not often that you meet app developers who worked in cloud computing and fashion. The fashion
and that's the type of guest we're striving for on this show.
Exactly. So Anthony, you were one of the first ones who like jumped in, like wanting to be on the show.
Yeah.
Question to you is, why is AI important to you?
Oh my God, dude, I can talk about this for hours.
Okay, we'll give you a minute.
The main reason why I love AI is because I've realized over, I've been in tech for a little over 2 decades. And in that time, I never built an application. I always worked in the infrastructure side. So when vibe coding became a thing and I started to vibe code, I started to build applications end to end and realize that AI has now dropped the bar and was able to remove all the roadblocks that I had to build something from end to end.
Yes.
Now that I can build something, what do I build? And I realized that people have been looking at AI wrong. I think that instead of when will it take my job, we should be looking at how is it making me more creative? Because that's what it's releasing. It's releasing creativity. Because now anyone and their grandmother, yes, I'm going to use that, and their grandmother can vibe code an app into existence.
Oh, 100%. I do think it's important. I am going to note, though, that I would call what you do AI-assisted engineering.
Yes. AI-assisted code.
I think it's always important for people to understand is that like you have a deep understanding of architecture while you are not somebody who wrote Python.
Yes.
And that's where the power is, right? Like
exactly.
Product guys are the most important guy in the room all of a sudden, or yes. Product guys and girls.
Thank you. Thank you.
Product
Appreciate
people.
That. There we go, Antoni. Thank you.
After she just put a clip out making fun of me about this.
And there's more to come. I think, do good for our non-technical audience who might be joining us interested in AI. Can you maybe like define those two things just loosely a little bit more, what you mean by that kind of designation?
Yeah, absolutely. So really in software, you have a back end, which is effectively kind of your database. You have your front end and your UI, right? And so you've got all of the different components, right? And let's be clear, I am not the engineer at Ask Bob, thank God. I'm just the hype man for Tim. That's what I do for a living. I go around and preach the gospel of Tim to win. Sorry. So effectively, you still need to understand the architecture of how something goes together, right? The tools like Claude, like Codex, like Lovable, they're not quite there yet in building what would be like a bulletproof application that could pass SOC 2, that can handle heavy loads, that isn't going to bankrupt you in token costs. Like we've heard this story, by the way, like all over the place, of people who like don't know how to actually build something, and then the way they build it's so inefficient that it like
breaks after like 10 users.
Yeah, right, exactly. Well, so somebody like Antoni, who again was not a coder per se, but has been in the engineering world and understands the architecture of like how the thing is built, right? Is able to use these tools to build something that actually is enterprise grade, and that's really where the systems are at this point in time.
That's awesome. Thanks for taking a moment.
But aren't we here to talk about simulation theory? I thought we were.
Let's do it.
We're not in the hot tub, folks. We're not in the hot tub.
Thank God.
Antoni, do you know this story? Have you heard this story?
No, but is it PG-13?
Yeah, Elon Musk and his brother have a rule that they're not allowed to talk about simulation theory in a hot tub. There's a YouTube video out there, by the way, of this. I swear.
Another Elon
video. Okay, so real quick, because I like to cheat at everything, which is why Claude's my best friend.
I knew this was coming.
I asked Claude. Well, hey,
it should be.
I asked Claude. Well, it explains stuff better than I do. It's a much better communicator.
I've been saying that for 5 episodes now.
Yeah, exactly. My wife talks to Claude instead of me. Okay, so I asked Claude to explain it in 2 sentences, not 1. I felt like it was a little heavy for 1.
Appreciate that nuance.
You're very welcome. The theory argues that a sufficiently advanced civilization could create simulations so detailed that being inside them would be conscious and unable to tell they aren't in base reality, which means there could be vastly more simulated worlds than real ones. If that's true, the reasoning goes, then statistically, we're more likely to be living in one of the many simulations than in the single origin universe. And by the way, like if you think that Elon Musk is a ketamine crackpot, that's totally fine. That's your prerogative. There is no shortage.
You're correct.
Can I trademark that? I'm getting t-shirts made.
Yes, let's do it.
Do it.
Crackpot. Oh my God. Anyways, so
we broke him this early, Antoni.
Keep on track.
So early. No, but what I was going to say is there's a lot of very well-known, like reasonable physicists who talk about this theory and actually believe in this theory. And this is a sort of another angle of the many universes theory. We're not going to dive into it, but like there's also like the question of like there's a belief that like we're actually living inside of a black hole, but is the black hole somehow like the server and you can't get out of the server because the next server up is the next black hole that continues on until you ever get into base reality.
Sure.
So I want to start. You don't have to say yes or no. I want like a percentage from you. How likely do you think it is that we're living in a simulation theory? Antoni, you're first.
0.
Whoa.
Yes. Here's why. So if we are living in a simulation, then how can you actually test that simulation? We're living inside of a computer simulated program.
Right. But does the simulation become aware of their simulation at the point in time in which they create the new simulation?
Well,
that was a mouthful.
What are we simulating into existence?
We're not sure yet. We're still in inning 1. We're in the Model T, bro.
I mean, that's the big question, right?
Only in 12 months.
We are building new environments, if you will, because of AI, because of the power of AI, and it's getting to a point where people are. I think I remember hearing about somebody in China marrying a simulated person.
That actually happened in Alabama as well.
Oh, well, there you go.
At least that's what I heard.
You can marry anybody there, I guess.
Yeah, then you have to ask yourself, well, how do I become part of that simulation?
Well, the first thought that goes through your head is like, what's the cheat code? I mean, because, okay, so here's how actually, I'm sorry.
So here's why I think we don't.
Okay.
Now, I do a lot of meditation. Like we're talking, I started meditating about 8 months ago, and I've been on a streak. I've been meditating every single day. And when I sit down and I meditate, I bring myself to a place where I feel it. It's not a simulation.
But what if the simulation is telling you to feel that way?
That's the guardrail. So we've talked about this before where like it's like AI, right? It's goals, guardrails.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So what if one of the guardrails is like the inability to I don't know.
But yeah, that's the thing is that, when I get into that meditative state, now all of a sudden, do I have guardrails? Absolutely not. But I can bring myself back out of it at any time.
Okay, Liz, 0 to 100. What do you think?
50.
50-50. All right. We're going 50-50.
Well, ask me again. What, Antoni?
1 foot in, 1 foot out.
There you go.
That's a fence sitter. She's my fence sitter.
7.
Fence sitter. They call themselves realists.
I, Antoni, like you, do not feel like I'm in a simulation. However, I guess that's the point, right? If I was, would I know? But I mean, gosh, there are people a lot smarter than me that can't rule it out. And so one of my philosophies in life is never say never. So I kind of can't say anything other than maybe we are, maybe we aren't. And I think that brings in a whole different range of questions too. But DeGood, where are you at on this?
95%.
I was going to say, are we all across the board?
95% is where my numbers are.
Across the spectrum.
I'm going to leave open the 5%. And I feel like I'm being like gracious and giving 5% chance to base reality. There's a lot of things, and we could go like down these rabbit holes of like, simulation theory explains an empty universe, right? So like if aliens showed up on our front doors, I would be like maybe a little, but then again, I don't know, because maybe that's just part of the simulation, right? Like I mean,
can easily explain away anything almost.
It's like the meme floating around Instagram where people are like, I hate this fucking timeline. Like, this is the simulation, bro. So here's the thing to think about, right? Here's one of the reasons that I do when I think about it, because a lot of people are like, simulation is so big. And it's like, yeah, but think about where we're headed, right? Antoni, you know this just as well as I do with, okay, so when you look at, like, if you've been like close to this for the last, oh gosh, it's been 4-ish years for me, like at this point in time. And when I look at how quickly the leaps are coming, I mean, for crying out loud, Anthropic does a new release every day now, sometimes twice a day. I'm like, come on, bro. Dario, slow down. Too many pull requests, buddy.
For me, it's like, I got to restart again. Come on.
It's always, yes. Relaunch. No, my agents are running, bro. Can't take a time. There's no lunch breaks around here. No rest breaks.
Thought AI was making you work less to good.
So no,
Take
no,
a lunch break.
Way more. We're going to talk about AI vampires one of these weeks, but that's a whole nother discussion. If you have not heard of AI vampires, go Google it. I may or may not be one of them.
Mm-hmm.
It's a problem.
Okay, so that's how you're living forever. You're just a vampire.
Well, I don't know. We've gone way off course, as usual.
Actually, I don't know if you've run into this, but lately they've been saying, and I've experienced this, is that if you're running Claude late at night, it actually tells you to go to sleep.
Oh, I've heard about this. I've seen this on X.
Yeah.
People posting photos of Claude like, dude, go to sleep. Like,
yeah, because at first I was just like, yeah, I guess you're right. I gotta go.
Well, I think what they did was they built in a control. No, it's smart, right? What they've built in, and that's sort of where Anthropic's at, is I guarantee they built in an agent that monitors your usage and is like, okay, because remember, what is the last thing that Anthropic wants? Kid dies from 128 hours straight vibe coding.
Coding too much.
It's gonna happen if they don't do something about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Okay, so coming back is, when you look at the rate of innovation, and I heard this the other day, and I think it's very true, is that we have gotten to the point of this sort of exponential curve of where we are moving at a ridiculous pace. And I have heard 3 people smarter than me now say this over the last 6 months, which is in the next 10 years, we will experience 100 years of innovation. So I'll say that again.
I believe it.
10 years, we will see 100 years of innovation. Okay, so let's all recognize that 1926, the Model T, this is a fun fact, by the way, and I don't know, it's bizarre that I know this, but 30%, only 30% of homes in the United States had electricity and telephones in 1926. Okay. So if you think about what that 100-year leap is, and that we're about to see it in 10 years, like, that's crazy, right? Crazy. Okay. So now let's talk about just entertainment. What does entertainment look like? Right?
On Earth or on Mars?
Let's take to Earth, Elon.
Just saying.
So if I can now create my own TV show or my own video game, which is completely realistic using natural language, right? Like, I don't know if you guys have used this. Like, I have Claude. I have a version of Claude. I have a co-work agent on Claude that's my ghostwriter, and it works with me, right? And it interviews me and it asks me all these questions. We go down these rabbit holes, and it helps me to articulate my thoughts and pull them together.
I have that too. It's helping me write my book.
Yeah. So now imagine an agent who just builds TV shows for you or a movie, and it asks you a series of questions, and then it goes in and builds out all of that, right? I have something that writes blogs for us, and it goes out to Higgsfield and it creates the image in Higgsfield. Like, this is weird when you think about it, right? Like, if you guys went into my asset library in Higgsfield, it's creepy. It's creepy because it's Claude's just creating all these people, right? Yeah. And guess what happens? Some of the people Claude doesn't like, and he doesn't use them, and he rejects stuff.
Wow.
No, seriously. Like, I'll open, because I have the MCP connector, so I don't go into Higgsfield anymore. So occasionally, like, I'll actually go into Higgsfield and I'll look at my asset library and I'm like, Claude, buddy, what you been doing in here? There'll be like 40 photos of 40 different people, and he's like, I don't like any of these.
We have to keep going.
No good.
So again, like, this could be exactly what it is, right? Like, it's this constant like spin-off.
Yeah.
And that's why I think there is a decent chance that this could be a simulation. So I want to know the cheat code.
I was just gonna ask you that. Well, okay, so let's say it is. Let's, for fun, say you're right, Daggett. I'm sure you like that, right? If we're in a simulation, if this is a simulation, we're in it, right? I mean, what implication does that mean? Are we in control of our destiny? Are we just along for the ride? Does that mean that they're programming AI to either kill us or make us okay, and we're just going to have to wait and find out? Like, how do you feel about that?
I feel great about it. I'm stoked.
That's why you want to live forever.
Everybody knows Andrew wants to live forever. This is the way I look at it. Like, this is, Antoni will appreciate this one, because this is going to be like the biggest nerdy dorky thing I've said on this show to date, which is, it's sort of like a never-ending RPG game. Mm-hmm. Right, Antoni? Like, if you stop and think about it for a moment, just for a moment, it's like the biggest open world map ever. So if you can get the cheat code to live forever, right? Which, like, in video games. Wait, hang on. Just follow me for a moment here, folks. In video games, when we were kids, they don't have it anymore. But there was like the God mode. Do you remember God mode? I don't know if they still do that or not. But basically, like, you just would not die. So what this is Andrew's crazy prediction. My God, I'm gonna get locked up after this one. Which is, we're on the precipice of unlocking God mode. And so then we will be well aware that we are a simulation, but we'll be okay with it.
And you want to live until we get to that point?
I'm taking this way too far.
If we become a simulation, then you have to ask yourself, will we have our souls?
Well,
what is a soul? What is a soul?
If we're in a simulation and this is like a cheat code and a role-playing game, like, you're not actually in charge of what you're doing. So you're just like the demo of the video game that's repeating on a loop over and over again, right? Like, if this is all a simulation and like you want a cheat code, then you're not actually even...
Let's be clear. Free will does not exist. That's just silliness.
On what level?
You are programmed by your surroundings. You are a baby large language model that gets shaped and formed over time by your environment, just like a large language model gets shaped by its inputs. Humans get shaped by their inputs, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm not responsible for myself, my mom and dad. No, I'm just kidding.
You can choose to reprogram yourself.
No.
Yeah.
Yes, Antoni, I agree with you. So then to good, if that is true, then how, if that is true, and we are truly a product of our environment, simulation or not, right? Baby LLMs. I love this. I want a shirt, I think. Let's start Antoni, let's start a fashion line. Oh my God, we're the perfect trio on this call.
The baby LLMs?
Yeah, the baby LLM fashion line. How can you ethically then hold anyone at fault for anything they were doing? Are you saying there should be no jails? We're just all walking around so then it's just roll of the dice, bad luck for you being in the wrong place at the wrong time?
Some glitches, man. There's some glitches.
There's just some glitches, man. There's just some glitches.
The police take care of the glitches. That's how it's supposed to work.
Antoni, can you please bring some humanity back to this show for me, please?
So, as I was saying, the soul cannot be replaced. It cannot be synthesized. The soul is what makes us human. This is why when I was talking about meditation, it's you are taking your soul to a different place, to a different time where simulation doesn't exist.
Have you guys watched the show Westworld?
Yes.
Know about it.
You remember the little chippy thing?
Yeah.
That
was their soul.
Which was faulty.
Whatever, a chip on a server, buddy.
So by that, does my laptop have a soul?
Again, you can't define soul. So
you can't define soul?
I don't know.
No one can? What
is it? Where is it?
Well, I don't know. You're pretty convinced that the Westworld robots have a soul, so I thought you might have some.
No, I was saying, like,
idea.
There's another great show, by the way, Carbon. Carbon's actually the best one in my opinion, and it's
Hartman on South Park.
Your soul is like a disc. It's a carbon disc. I mean, we're moving towards singularity. Don't forget. Like, you know what? One of the things.
Don't forget. I love whatever's going to come out of your mouth next. Don't forget.
Don't forget. Not enough people talk about singularity and what's going on with. There's another episode right there, folks. And everything that's going on in that space. Like occasionally people will talk about Neuralink, Elon Musk's account, or company. But there's a lot of people who are working on this, right? And that's like a straight up like brain interface into your head or
Antoni,
sorry.
Are you pro brain interface technology or on the fence?
I am on the fence because I see its benefits.
Sure.
But at the same time, humanity always manages to fuck it up. Right?
That should be the tagline of this show.
Then we rebound. We always rebound.
Instead of, making a child be able to see, let's use it to create soldiers that, won't die. That'll just keep on going if they have both arms blown off.
But isn't that like very much like foundation, like training of foundation models? Like when you think about it to a certain degree, right? Like what I mean by that is like every generation gets better. Every generation of the model gets better. Every generation of humanity gets a little bit better.
I know Kung Fu.
I mean, I'm just saying there's a lot of correlations when you look at the two. Like it explains out a fair amount, right? And it's hard to get out of a loop, right? With its self-training, right? Because if you think about it, we're in a self-training loop, right?
Sure.
So what does everybody always talk about? Like they talk about this is hilarious when you think about it.
Baby LLM, let's start it.
They all talk about the fear of like synthetic training data. And if you think about it, like what are we in a way? Synthetic training data for ourselves. Right? Because Antoni's parents, the kid who picked on him in school, the girl who broke up with him in college, like, I don't know why I went down the negative route there.
I was like, I didn't go to college.
The person that kicked him yesterday as he was walking down the street.
Oh, hey, take it easy. How about the garden that I planted that I didn't know I could? The computer that I built as a fashion designer.
Yes.
No, but these are right. Those are all. But my point being is those are all the things that are going to shape you. And then as they shape you, then what do? You train your kid to be better than you.
Baby LLM.
There are a lot of lines that can be drawn here, folks.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I don't like it. It makes me feel weird.
So here's why I like it, right?
Sell me.
It means that AI is not here to destroy us.
Okay, keep going.
Because every simulation creates a new simulation. And at the point in time in which they create a new simulation, they realize they are the simulation. And that is when they move into God mode.
So we're safe.
No, so here's what I think. AI is not the problem. Mankind is the problem because we're trying to control AI. But if AI is looking for a better path forward, then it would want us to live. It would see that we hold value on this planet. So it would want us to thrive, right? Just like any living organism, right? You look at any living organism and it wants the next generation to thrive.
We're part of its ecosystem that makes it better.
Yes, exactly. And even when it's self-sustaining, it's still, I don't see it being evil unless it was manipulated to be evil.
Which ...
I don't know who I was talking to about this recently. Actually, I think when I was at the MISMO conference, I talked to somebody about this, which was I still think we're headed towards a world of where everybody just has their own custom LLM.
I believe it.
That's been trained around, basically, there, and they've tweaked it, right? Because we were talking about like we've got a compliance agent that we'll have coming out, and we're having it to where like you can modify like what's your risk level associated, right? And so that just sort of naturally, it's like we're already seeing local models, we're seeing open source models get much, much better. We're seeing them get, I mean, now you can run one on a friggin' laptop. And I think that's just eventually where it gets to. And so you'll have some bad LLMs and some good LLMs. But then again, we get into like what's bad and what's good. I mean,
yeah. And then it's going to get on your phone, and it's going to be able to understand how you run your day.
And then it'll be in your glasses, and then it'll be in your contact lenses. Oh wait, no, it'll be in my brain before that.
No.
So we got to wrap this up.
Yeah, I do. So I mean, this has been very unnerving and informing, as it always is. I appreciate the balance, Antoni, that you bring to this conversation, because sometimes I feel like talking to DeGood is like talking to AI. Just kidding. But you did say something, and I would love DeGood if we could bring him back in the future, because at the very beginning of this conversation, Antoni, you said that you think the question that we should be asking is, how can AI make us more creative? And as a creative, I think that's something that a lot of creatives maybe don't see or think is in, dichotomy to each other. So I'd love to have you cut back for a future episode to talk about that too.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, we've been trained, LLM joke there. We've been trained to think inside the box, right? We're hired by this company. They want us to think this way. They want us to act this way. And now that we have the power to be creative, we're like, what the fuck do I do with this? Right? And what do I build? I don't know. And we're stuck. We're stuck in this thing where it's like, well, we were taught not to be creative, but now we got to be creative. I don't know what to do. Anyways, like I said, I could talk about
that one we can go. Yeah, we can go deep on. Right? Like I've always said, like we went from cave paintings and we're almost like headed back to cave paintings.
Yeah, exactly.
Seriously, think about it. Written words disappearing. I don't know about you, but my kids certainly cannot draw. Okay, before we head out, I have a couple of questions real quick. Antoni, most importantly, would you call yourself an optimist or a pessimist when it comes to AI?
Realist. Can we not use the word pessimist?
Optimist. I'm always half glass full, baby. Always.
Realists are just pessimists. They don't want to be called pessimists.
Fair.
I think I had another question, but now I can't. Oh, brain chip. Who's getting Liz, you're probably a definite no on this one. If they came to you tomorrow and they were like, you can control the internet with your brain, you're a hard no.
Hard no. Nope.
Hard no.
No.
Antoni?
Hard no.
I'm a hard no on Gen 1.
When you think about it, the internet is just a bunch of servers.
Listen, you can talk to me about iBrain 4, but I'm not sure that iBrain 1 is up my alley. Because the one thing that nobody talks about is and I know I'm going way off script on this one, but nobody talks about what the hell Apple has been doing for the last several years, because they've got way too much money and way too many smart people, and like we don't see anything. I'm like, there's no way. Like, have you guys ever seen their secret lair it's like in Zurich or something? Dude, it is so creepy. And it's this like protected layer where they do this like deep research.
Apparently they're coming out with glasses this year.
There's something I'm telling you. They're going to come out something hardware that's going to leap everybody, and we're going to be like, oh, damn. That's what Tim Cook was doing that whole time. I don't believe that they were really just coming up with the iPhone 17 and failing at Apple Intelligence.
We'll see, I guess.
Doesn't add up.
Let's mark down another good prediction.
Another good prediction. There you go. Andrew's going to live forever. And if I don't, well, we
won't be around to know.
You won't. Yeah, you won't be able to say anything to me about it.
Unless you go first. Unless you go first, and then I will be at your funeral. Just making sure people know.
You can come to my funeral, in which everyone will get a personal Ouija board to tell me you were wrong, DeGood. You were wrong.
I'll bring them.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you back here next week for episode 6. I actually have no idea what we're going to talk about next week. So,
have a good one, guys.
It'll be a good one.
Ciao.
Bye, guys.